Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm LD. I'm joined here today by Bruno, and we are casting Dreamhack winner. The action continues. This might very well be our third, fourth place decider match for the group. Perhaps a bit premature to say that, but of course, no Tidehunter and EG, the two heavy favorites in this group. Both of them, I believe, in the end, winning their games, and both advancing to 1-0. Both of these teams 0-1. They need a win to have any hope of advancing. I'm LD, and of course, Bruno joining me for the cast. How you doing, Bruno?
I'm doing great. I was just checking the stats about Dreamhack. I mean, it's been 8 games already. We don't have that much information because, well, I mean, it's just 8 games, right? But there's been some trends already, and I would like to talk about them while we wait for the first ones, which aren't really important.
Please do.
Yeah, well, there are only a few heroes that have been always picked or banned, and these heroes are... I'm going to try, and you just have to guess 2 of them, which are really easy. Heroes that have been.
TA, Batrider.
Batrider, you got it right. It was always banned, never picked. TA, for some reason, was not picked nor banned one match. But then we have Magnetor, the flavor of the month. Jakiro, Darkseer, Bounty Hunter, and Wisp. Those are the heroes that are always banned or picked. And actually, the hero that was picked the most was Jakiro, because, I mean, most teams, you know, they don't ban Jakiro. He's a strong hero, but not first ban.
Right.
So, I mean, and it's been going really strong because Bounty Hunter won 4 of his 5 matches. Let me see the other guys. Magnetor, 3 out of 3. Is he a strong hero or is he a strong hero, right?
Yeah, this hero is very, very powerful, and I'm glad that Rigged banned it, although, you know, it is a different team. It's not EG, but it's just not a hero you want to deal with. And I guess the concern now, for 4FC pretty much have to ban the Batrider. If they don't ban it, I will be shocked if Rigged don't pick it up. And actually, the other Bruno, I was talking to him, he spoke with Peppe, and Peppe said right now it's just TA, for him it's TA and Batrider, who are just leaps and bounds above any other first pick. So the team that has second pick has to ban both of those in his eyes, which opens up the pool, but they choose to ban the Wisp.
So Batrider might be incoming, and there it is.
There you go. No surprises. There's a Jakiro, there's a Rubik.
Yep. There are so many other heroes that can also work. But I mean, if I was going back to the Magnetor of it, I have this plan, right? So I wouldn't be too scared of other teams picking Magnus. If they go with Magnus, what you do is you pick Bloodseeker. And bear with me here. So you get to level 6, and then he won't skewer you anymore, because when he skewers you with Rupture, he loses like half his life. And
yeah, he loses a lot. It's like a double force staff. Just pretty painful.
There you have it. Bloodseeker. Get into the meta. Yeah, hard counter for that Magnetor.
I actually like that idea. That's creative. I don't think we'll see it, but...
No, maybe not today. Maybe in the finals.
What are the stats on Bloodseeker? Has he ever been picked in competitive play? I cannot think. I'm sure he's been picked once or twice, but I can't think of a game where I've seen the hero.
He was picked once, just for fun. A really, really old tournament. I think it was like second round of first defense way back when, and by a team that didn't have any chance, so that they decided to experiment. And I think he ended something like 1-8 and 200 GPM. Goal per minute. So, I mean, no, he was never picked. Not seriously.
Well, Rubik and Lone Druid is the choice for 4FC. This is... they have some ways to deal with Batrider, and one of the cute little interactions we could see, Bruno, would be that Rubik on a broomstick of his own. That is... I think that's the most entertaining thing I've ever seen as far as what Rubik can steal.
It is really cute. I'm partial to the sniper stick. Well, he's the ultimate assassinate. But the broom is really cool. It's very Harry Potter.
How awesome would that be if he suddenly develops the scar on top of his face? Oh man, I like the Lone Druid though, because it gives you just something annoying for Batrider to deal with. Sure, to some extent, sticky napalm allows you to kite, but if he ever gets entangled, then it's just Batrider caught in a horrible position. His weakness as an initiator has always been that he's got to be in the middle of the fight. He's not like Beastmaster where you can sort of sit back. But I love the way Rigged are picking. They combo the Batrider up with Sven and Jakiro. Honestly, Batrider's so good that they could even tri-lane this. I don't expect to see it, but that's just how damn strong the hero is right now. And, I mean, the lanes are wide open. Offensive tri-lane. They could even run dual lanes. They could run a Batrider solo mid. He can jungle. He can offlane. La-di-la-di-la. You get the idea, Bruno. These are some good picks from Rigged, and they don't really tell you too much.
Yep. But speaking of Four Friends plus chrillee, they're doing just the same thing they did the other game, the one which we did not cast against NTH.
Mm-hmm.
They went for first two picks, Rubik and Lone Druid as well that time, and they follow the Shadow Demon.
This
So they're
is
doing exactly same picks.
I
They're going
on
for-
paper I really like Shadow Demon against Sven because that Demonic Purge, it doesn't actually remove his ult, but it makes him really slow even through BKB. On paper, it seems like a good counter, but then that game was crazy. No, Ake or Loda rather has been playing a lot of Sven lately. They had Magnetar and Sven, so it was a stronger combo than what Rigged are gonna get. But that bear, the Lone Druid's bear, died in like 4 auto attacks when Sven had God Strengths on. It was some Arnold Schwarzenegger style Sven, to say the least.
It is strong, and he has this huge sword, so. I mean, yeah, it was really unfortunate that game because 4FC had the game control by 20 minutes and then they just dropped the ball. They had lots of farm on the Lone Druid and the other
Wow,
two
this is-
carry picks.
They're doing the research. I guess Rigged had a
Yeah.
chance to watch that game, and no Kunkka Shadow Demon combo for you, they say. Even though it didn't work, it is rather annoying. You know, Bruno, for me, we were talking about it, I feel like that game exposed just the dice rolling aspect of late game Kunkka. If you got a huge cleave crit coming out of Shadowblade, your team might just win the fight off the bat. If you don't, it's almost like you don't have a shot, because he's not like Sven where he just keeps on whacking away. You know, he's got that one big Tidebrainer, and if it doesn't hit, he doesn't do that much.
Yep, then you're just standing there hitting for the beat, trying to create, but you will never be as powerful as, say, a Sven with God Strength. So you have to wait another 5 seconds for another Tidebringer, and without your Shadow Blade, it won't be as strong. So again, as you said, it's kind of like a burst damage carry, that Kunkka. Of course, you have the combo with the Torrent and the ship, and it can be a huge team fight changer, but you can't use it when you're in the middle of the team fight because of Torrent's delay and because the Ghost Ship positioning asks you to be 1,000 miles away from the actual action.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's complicated. It's a complicated hero. He had his chance. I think he was powerful enough a couple patches ago, but now with Sven, he's just a better hero here.
You know, the one thing you and I wanted to see was a Magnetar plus Kunkka, just for the biggest crits you'll ever see, but again, still very gimmicky. And Sven Magnetar, just insanely, just insane. that's the thing about Magnus. It's like Magnus plus anyone. Why are we talking about him so much? He's banned. I don't know. I'm on a Magnus kick, man. I'm like addicted to this hero now. And you know what's crazy is he's one of the few heroes that's very international. Like, Asia is using him. It's always an off lane for them, but Chinese are using it very effectively. It's top pick, top ban material there. We see in Europe and in North America, it's a little more of a solo mid. So I love, not really this hero in particular, but the fact that like each scene is discovering in their own way how they want to use these top pick heroes and a little bit of a different flavor, a different taste. I wonder, where do these teams go from here? Let's talk a little bit more about the second stage of the draft. What do we see? And, well, what do you expect? It looks like 4FC banning out a lot of solos right now.
Well, I mean, if they decide to go with Rubik solo mid, which I wouldn't recommend, they could probably have a better chance at getting a trial with Shadow Demon Rubik and one really strong carry. Last time they went with Shadow Fiend. And another solo mid, which there are not too many left, right? Because you have to face a Bad Rider. And when you get there, what do you do against a Bad Rider? Maybe you put a dual lane mid, get a Leshrac, try to get control by killing and not much farming, go Shadow Demon Leshrac versus that Bad Rider. It's hard to say, really. I mean, you have to contest that somehow. For Rigged, it's kind of easier. They have a solo mid, they have a carry. They just need an offlaner and another support. It can be a jungler. There are no like key junglers banned other than Enigma, but you still can get Chen if you want. You still can get Enchantress. Even Nature's Prophet or no, Darkseer's not in the pool. Nature's Prophet if you feel like jungling Nature's Prophet. I think that Rigged has way more options right now to pick, and that's why they're taking their time. While 4FC, even if they do have lots of heroes to pick from, their positions are way more limited right now, and they have to be thinking how they contested Bad Rider mid.
Yeah, I almost want to say you could throw the Lone Druid there, 1v1. The problem comes with smoke ganks. But if it's 1v1, I think Lone Druid doesn't necessarily win the lane, but he does okay, just because the bear and the hero do so much harass damage that it makes it a little bit tricky for Bat Rider coming close. I would say that's their best option right now, is either the Lone Druid solo mid and just have really good wards and great map awareness, or some sort of dual lane, but what dual lane would it be then? With Shadow Demon not having a partner in crime, there's a Leshrac, but I don't think that's what you want. Leshrac, pretty squishy, and I feel like if you try to get aggressive with a Leshrac Shadow Demon, you're probably giving away a kill or two in the end. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else they go for at this point. Rigged seem to be very confident about what they want. It is the makings of, again, it could be dual lanes, it could be a tri-lane, but either way, it is a lot of AoE lockdown and a lot of burst damage.
Man, you can even go offensive with this tri-lane, like Sven, Jakiro, Lina. You have enough tankiness with the first two. And, I mean, Lina is such a great hero for damage dealing once she hits level 2 or 3. They do have very, very offensive capabilities. I think that if they go defensive and just farm this Sven and play passive, it's a waste of lineup right there. But, I mean, maybe they will prove me wrong.
It does feel like a bit of a waste, but it could still work. And 4FC... this is... I don't know if this is the right choice here. Let's be honest. It's a weak laning hero. It's a hero that... It does okay 1v1. Not great. Batrider cannot lane Invoker. Then you have to worry about the easy gank potential. This just screams, get some early smoke on Rigged. You can offensive tri-lane, and then go for push the lane, go for a smoke gank. Sure, maybe someone's not farming for a little bit, but Invoker is fresh meat in that mid lane, and if he's top, that's up against the tri-lane.
Yeah.
So I don't like this pick.
Sometimes when picks like this come, we say, well, I would have done differently. But I mean, let's look at this from a different angle, right? You have Invoker right now. You have to use Invoker. What build do you go with it? You go Quas Exort and try to push. You go Quas Wex and try to play really defensive. I think that would be the best choice, right? Maybe you go full Exort and try to snipe from other lanes to make up for the difference that you will lose the lane.
I think EMP Tornado, that they do have the Shadow Demon plus Invoker, so they have the potential for the Sunstrikes. But if rigged offensive tri-lane, the one thing they might be lacking is early Arcade Boots. And going for the Wex build can really punish you, because when you run the offensive tri-lane, unless you're getting kills, you're not farming as much on the supports. And, the farmer in that tri-lane, the Sven, it's not like a Windrunner where you're going to get early Arcanes. You're pretty much guaranteed to go for your Power Tres, your Drums, maybe a Soul Rain or Tranquil Boots. So I think Wex could actually work in that sense. If they don't pressure the Invoker early, it could work out pretty well for them.
Again, this Dragon Knight changes everything. Will we see an offlane Batrider? Because who else are you going to offlane?
I think it's an offensive tri-lane, solo mid, Dragon Knight, and safe lane Batrider. But otherwise, yeah, I think it's the bad offlane if it's not an offensive tri-lane.
Yeah, I mean, Batrider safe lane is always nice because you can always, as long as you can keep your the creeps next to your lane, you can chase for a long while, and get some kills. And the Chaos Knight is the final pick for 4FC. And what do you think about it? Is it a good pick for this lineup?
Well, we've seen Sven really counter this hero, right? Because Chaos Knight, all about the physical damage, has the cleave to kill your illusions later on, has the Warcry armor to negate a lot of your burst damage in the mid game. It does give them a reliable stun and a frontline initiator, which, if you look at their lineup, they needed. Lone Druid's tanky, he's not an initiator. It gives them a much needed stun, so I don't mind it, but I feel like Rigged have a lot of answers for it. Warcry, also the Dragon Knight, who's very naturally tanky. So, on paper, I think Rigged's draft a bit more stable, a bit more versatile, but I think the X factor is going to be that EMP Tornado if Invoker goes for it, but it looks like it might be the Exort build.
Yep. They seem to be want to go with the Sunstrikes. On that Shadow Demon Chaos, I mean, it can work. It's a really nice lane.
Is it actually going to be 4FC who get aggressive and Rigged who play defensively? This is sort of the opposite of what you might expect from the lineups, but it looks like it.
They can still try to contest the jungle and go top, or
right.
I mean, we have to see.
Right,
maybe
they do have
just
the plan
hoping
B.
for a clash.
The nice thing about the bear,
the nice thing about the bear.
Yeah, you're not going to get caught. I mean, unless they smoke, that bear's got to make sure nobody gives up a first blood. Quickly, we will introduce the players. Strang B on the Chaos Knight. Early Rain of Protection suggests that offensive tri-lane, suggests the early Rain of Basilius. Boomski on the Shadow Demon. Support for him. Wards picked up. Rubik, Smoke as well. I love this choice. They do have a great smoke ganking lineup. Nose as the Invoker. Expect to see him solo mid. Go for the Exort. Safe lane. It's Chrillee, the man that this team is named after. These are the four friends, and of course, he is your C. He is your C in the 4FC. He's Chrillee, and he's going to be playing the Low Druid. Yep,
and for Rigged, we have Lina, played by Boogie, KIH, playing the Batrider that will be going off lane, Rika, that Dragon Knight, Milky on Jakiro, and Feta on the carry Sven.
And it looks like, for the most part, in fact, entirely, they defend their jungle. This is a bit of a concern for 4FC. If you want to go offensive, you need vision. And do they have any sentries? No sentries, only one observer. This smacks of trouble to me. I think already I would give the edge as far as tri-lane to rigged, and then especially when you don't have any vision. This is going to be hard for 4FC.
Yeah, you definitely need vision. You definitely need to stop those neutral creeps from spawning, because otherwise you'll just get next to your tower, leech some EXP. You might not get the best farm ever, but they're initiating just right now.
Just a little harass. Unfortunately, disrupting melee targets not really that effective, because the illusions aren't going to be able to attack them unless they're right next to him, and he just walks away.
He literally received 20 damage out of that disruption.
Yeah, you know, it's not the best harassment spell. The other concern for for 4FC is they're mostly single target, and they're up against Ice Pad, Lena's not Split Earth, her Light Strike Array, and an AoE stun from Sven. They've really got to make sure they use that disruption properly. I feel like that's the only way they can win this lane.
Yep. That was not a proper use of disruption. But then again, it's level 1. You'll regen the mana. You have a Ring of Basilius soon, so it's fine. You can be a bit liberal with your mana every once in a while. But they don't seem to want to engage right now. They're playing very passive. When you see the supports in an offensive tri-lane behind the carry, it's not a good sign to begin with. And
they are getting the pulls off. In fact, it's a double pull. Buki is going to hit level 2, and these early level 2s are absolutely crucial. Rubik needs his Fade Bolt, so important in tri-lane versus tri-lane. You also need Soul Catcher on the Shadow Demon. Even a hero like Chaos Knight desperately needs to get at least 1 point in Reality Rift. Buki level 2, and now roaming away. This is good for 4FC, though. They're going to be able to steal this pull, I suppose. So something going their way, at least. And Lena migrates all the way around the world. I think was just checking that bottom rune. It did spawn top. Haste rune bottled by Rika, who does have 2 points of Breathe Fire. And that's the other thing. I guess they do have the Invoker Sunstrike support. He is going for Exhort, so that's the one thing they can count on. But even then, I feel like there's just so many ways to disengage for Rigged. It comes down to a mistake from Rigged for 4FC to win this tri-lane. But how are we doing in our other lanes?
Well, the Bad Rider is top, doing what a Bad Rider does. Getting harassed a lot, but that Orb of Venom Bear. As you said, it's a really hard lane. And maybe there's more of a chance for the Bad Rider when he's playing mid, because he has the safety of his own tower. But here, playing off lane, getting so close to Lone Druid's tower. And Lone Druid always has that chance to go with his bear and make the pull by himself, using his bear while he farms with his main hero, or vice versa. So it's a complicated lane for Bad. He has no more regen, just a boot, which is really important against a bear, but it's just that he's not in a good position.
Yeah, and you even see him leveling up Flame Break, which is smart, because if you get into trouble, you want to be able to push that bear away, try and get a little bit... I believe it does push the bear back anyway.
Yeah, it does.
And more importantly, just it allows you to engage from a distance, right? Because you don't want to be in close. As strange as it sounds on Batrider, normally you want to be flying high above them, burning, immolating everything below you. But when that bears the chance to entangle, it makes life tricky. And look at the control from chrillee, actually pulling this big hit. Oh, not quite right. I jinxed him, man. Sorry, chrillee. Bottom lane. Still no action. These are 6 very potent hero killers. This could start it off, though. Disruption on Shadow Demon. Or not Disruption, but Ice Path. But just too far away. Could have easily defensively disrupted if they tried to go in. So, no engagement in the end. But so far, seems like Rigged is coming out ahead in the tri-lane.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you play a defensive tri-lane versus an offensive tri-lane, if no kills are going on, then the defensive tri-lane is going. I mean, it's winning that lane. And when you get the pulls as well, I mean, 4FC is really, really in need of something to happen.
Oh, really?
And that DK.
Hasted and Invis. And about to hit level 5. Is going to TP top. I love this. This is so unexpected. There's no way chrillee could ever see this coming. And this probably will be the first blood. Maybe there is a way he can see it coming. He's running so far away, but that stun is here. Flame Breath will do a lot of damage. Is there an entangle? He's level 5, needs an entangle, gets an entangle, needs a body block. No, first blood. Explodes in a cloud of flames. The Molotov cocktail does its dirty work.
So clever. I mean, TPing and straight to the second tower. He knew he had his haste. No one could see him going in beast. Even if they had rune sentries everywhere in the map, there's no way they could catch that. And there's action bottom.
Yeah, disruption on the Chaos Knight. And now the Spence done already used, but look at the burst damage. Chaos Knight dropping low. Where's that Soul Catcher? Still haven't seen it drop. Big mistake, I think. Could be a kill with the Sunstrike. Instead, they're just running away. And Lina giving chase. Ice Path barely out of range to the south. Cancelled by the Lina AoE nuke by that Dragon Slave. That is... It's so hard to engage. Like, you can disrupt and live, but they have so many AoE stuns, and it's pretty easy to land them. Ice Path's easy. Stormbolt, fairly easy. You certainly hit one. Hitting two a little bit trickier, but it's really hard to get the upper hand on this tri-lane. The one thing that's going well for 4FC, though, Bruno, is the Invoker's already 27 and 17. What does he have? Tread's already picked up. Not going for the Midas build.
Well, it's okay. I mean, Treads are good. I always... Oh, finally something happening.
Yeah, lots of action bottom lane. In comes level 6 Batrider. Palasso's in the Cast Knight. No chance. The other support's forced to leave him while he burns. He will fall. A good timely TP. Lone Druid. Nice hero. Sure, he can't gank, but what he can do is start pushing that lane, and Batrider is going to take a while to get back towards top. In fact, they might just rotate DK top and have Batrider go mid just to try and minimize the movement. In fact, that is what they're going to do.
Yep.
Nope.
And it's a good move. Or
maybe not.
Are they? Or maybe not. Just checking the rune. I mean, DK is winning every single rune, and with Invoker, that's... I mean, it's normal that happens. Invoker doesn't want to leave the lane for the runes. He doesn't need a bottle. He doesn't care about getting a bottle. And the supports are so busy trying to get that tri-lane to work that you won't have any kind of rune control. And Dragon Knight just can walk right there, don't need to even push that lane, and get every single rune he wants.
You know, I'm a little worried for Rig, though, because they went for the partial Knight strat. It's like the Squires and the Knights. You know, they only have a few, and they go into Boomski, and the Sunstrike is going to be here. What a defensive disruption. Is it enough, though? The Cold Snap bringing Rick low. Boomski is just going to die in the end. Invoker forced to turn back. I think one or two more auto attacks might have been able to get that kill. Cold Snap only down to 10 seconds, but Rika now bottling up, will be able to survive. And a lot comes down to chrillee now. He's being given that safe lane. He is being left alone for the moment. His team's not having fun bottom. Mid lane, the struggles continue. The Invoker goes for the early tread, so going for a slightly tankier build now, but not going to have as high an impact later on in the game. Not rushing a 4-staff, not rushing a Midas. I feel like it's just a lot of eggs in the chrillee basket. Hey, it's appropriate. It's 4 friends in chrillee, right? I mean, that's the team name, so...
I mean, when you have your team named after you, you want to be the guy generating the impact.
Well, speaking of generating impact, this is a very dead Rubik.
Yep. They seem to have decided, okay, let's just leave Invoker farming there. He's not doing anything. Let's just kill that bottom tri-lane, make them fail. Which, I mean, to be fair, it's the only lane they're really clearly winning. So if you're winning, win more, right?
I mean, they had another option, right? They could have put the Lone Druid here, and I don't really think that Rig could stop him from doing some bear pulls. Maybe the first round or two, but they don't have anything. They don't have like a Venomous scale or anything crazy good. They will initiate on Milky, but a nice Stormbolt to turn this fight around. Potentially Strangby gets pulled back wall inside of Disruption, and now he's trapped inside his own illusions. No, actually he's not. I think the Sunstrike missed there in the end. Milky able to live, and it's just a slight lack of damage for 4FC. You have Shadow Demon and Rubik. Both of them are sort of setup heroes. But you don't really have, a Lina or a Crystal Maiden, any sort of big burst damage style nuker, so it really comes down to the Sunstrikes, and so far, Bruno, they're just not finding them too often.
No, and I don't think Invoker's worried too much about that. He's saying, well, he's more worried about getting his last hits. He has his 3-lane, and he's going to make the most out of it. So even if he doesn't make the impact early game, he knows that come a bit mid-game, maybe in this next 5 minutes, he will be able to have more money and more gold, more items than the opponent. And when he gets there, he will be able to make the impact. And again, that Silver top, he's just having fun right there. Yep. He has recipe of Hand of Midas in his bear, so he's going for Hand of Midas.
He may be having fun, but it sounds like this game is boring you to tears, man. Oh, it's okay, though. I'm sure the action will pick up at some point. Boogie is about to get caught out. No, Boomski actually backing off. Now the TP coming in. That is the Twin-Headed Dragon. They go into Chaos Knight. Again, if you disrupt him, this is only going to buy time for everyone else to show up. Boomski TPing towards top, trying to help the... Oh, whoa! Look how low the Batrider is. He's on the run. He is going for some wall riding, some bat skate in action, if you will, and will escape in the end. So annoying. This hero.
And the creep's trapped.
Yeah, this is... the creeps are trapped! Oh, they find their way out in the end.
That's funny.
What actually happened is that... I guess it's possible in theory to get them permanently trapped back behind the tree line, right? If the trees... Well, no, because I guess you just have to kill them, so they wouldn't be respawning.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Does he have pointed wax? He does not. know his nose. Oh, nose indeed. Sunstrike is gonna fly. It hits. No, it just misses. Oh, that would have been a kill. Oh,
Such a shame.
Ay caramba. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Strangby hiding in the trees. Feta is gonna get the tower. Treads complete. Went for a bottle. Not something you see too often in a safe lane. Well, really any kind of tri-lane Svad, but
Yep.
he has gone for it. Now he's got the treads.
And quick smoke gank, waiting to make something happen mid lane again, maybe. Who can they take? They can take that Ruby. There's a Shadow Demon lurking around, but I mean they're level 4, and there's not much what they can do really.
They definitely see him. That's a lot of pings on this Rubik. Oh man, I think they know he's there, guys. I think they know he's there. Sunstrike is gonna miss. Nose expecting Milky to commit to that. Did it in the end. Now this. Oh, sorry, that wasn't the Sunstrike. That was another nuke. But that Sunstrike will hit on Boogie. Sometimes I don't get the. I'm used to not getting the noise from casting all these Asian games. If you have enough delay, you don't actually get all the notifications. But
Yeah.
no Sunstrike finally used. Now it looks like potentially a staff. I guess a 4-staff for Invoker, which will be pretty helpful for this team.
Mm-hmm. And it makes such a difference because now he can get the positioning. He has enough points for a decent ice wall. I mean, it won't slow that much, but it will deal decent damage. And I mean, he's probably trying to go for those level 4 quests and get those 2 Force Spirits as well. And when that happens, he will get at his peak in this quest exhort hybrid, or he might go for full exhort and just try to snipe people with Sunstrike.
Yeah, he could go for the Yule Scepter build and just go for kind of that solo killing. They have one of the best heroes to combo with it, which is of course the Shadow Demon. I don't know though. I don't feel like he's quite getting the levels. Normally you see a Midas early on, but everybody is going onto this Invoker, and well, he's dead.
Yep.
Dead marks the spot, says Bruno.
Yeah, at this point, the Radiant lineup, even if they're not getting the best farm, at this point in the game, they're shining, they're really, really strong. There's nothing they can do to defend.
Oh no. And Batrider's is going to have a blink with this tower as well. That is even more trouble.
Yep. He's just 100 gold away right now, and once he gets that, they get the best initiation out of these whole 10 heroes.
And it's already so easy to initiate. You've got the new and improved range Dragon Knight stun a couple versions ago. You've got Warcry to help everyone get into range quickly. Rig just they don't need that many items. That's really the one unique thing about this lineup. There's nobody who's that farm dependent. Sure, Sven can get huge. You can play him as a hard farmer like we see ldOTA do, but you don't need to. You can get your basic items up and just death ball. And really, with the Exhort build, you can throw a Meteor out there, but aside from that, what can this team do to stop the push? They don't have many options, I feel. So 4FC probably got to rely on that split push from the Lone Druid and look to drag this game out, which we've seen what happens when you drag games out against Sven. The good news, though, no Magnetar to buff him up in this game.
Yeah, and but then again, it's like in late game carry potential, you have Sven on one side and Dragon Knight. And let's not forget about Dragon Knight, because as strong as Sven is with his new cleave, Dragon Knight has a built-in cleave by himself when he is 16. And it's range cleave, and it's pretty big as well, so...
Oh yeah.
As long as you get people next to each other, people will melt.
And it's kind of silly, because even if you have... Well, here comes the smoke gank. They're going to find an opportunity to initiate here. Batrider could blink away, not quick enough on the trigger finger there, but does get close enough to the high ground that I think that ends the engagement now. Batrider going to lasso Cast Knight, pull it back into the team. The Sunstrike, I believe it did hit on Feta, but he's still quite tanky. Cast Knight first to fall. The smoke gank fails, and now, well, you can't really run from this squad too easily, especially not with the Batman flying high in the sky. Boomski has disruption soon, but he is absolutely toast. In comes Low Druid. 1-by-1 4FC. Actually, maybe not. They're going to go back instead for the Rubik, and instead he'll fall for that. And now Dragon Knight with the backstab. Just so much stun. It's just insane. I mean, add up all the stuns, it's probably 10. There's so much lockdown for this team. And another easy
Every
kill.
single one of those heroes have a stun, so... You don't want to team fight them. You want to keep doing what you do with the Lone Druid. He wisely decides to, okay, let's go to that bottom lane, no one's there. I'm going to farm some Ancients right now, trying to get my Radiance up, and maybe, just maybe then we can make something about these other 5 heroes that are trying to kill our base.
It's... the other thing that I was about to mention before that last fight is We sort of touched on this in the pregame, but Dragon Knight and Sven are great heroes to have as carries against a lone druid, because your Dragon Knight's already got 19 armor by himself. Then you add Sven 16 armor. That's, what, 35 armor without any items when Sven Warcries?
Yep, that tickles.
You can just go straight for damage items. You don't need an Assault Caress. You don't need anything defensive. You just get an Armlet and some lifesteal, and I think you're good as gravy. It's going to be hard for this lone druid to have an impact, even if he gets really farmed.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you know, the funny thing about Assault Cuirass, some people speak about Assault Cuirass and Butterfly as being two items that have some defensive and offensive capabilities. And most people seem to think that Butterfly is the most offensive of the two, especially in agility here naturally. But actually, Assault Cuirass's offensive capabilities are really, really strong as well. And just because you're defensive enough, doesn't mean you shouldn't get it. I mean, again, you say the same things, but they have a Lone Druid, they have a Dragon Knight, they have a Sven there. They do lots of damage when they right-click. -5 armor for the other team, and plus 15% attack speed to everyone. It really, really adds up. It's never a bad pickup. And he went for the 2 Force Spirits build, which at this point is a bit questionable because they don't seem to be doing much pushing by themselves.
Yeah, but I feel like that's what they gotta do. They gotta split push. So I guess you could go back for Wex. I don't think Maxi Exhort does anything for you here, because there's gonna be BKBs on the core heroes, so DK and Sven, so... Yeah, I feel like it's not doing enough with the Forge Spirits, but what other option do you really have? Chrillee has just been rushing forever. This is taking so long. He is going to get it soon, though. And, well, this will be a good chunk of gold for him. 4 staff almost up on Invoker. They are accruing some decent items. It seems like they just need so many more items than Rig.
Someone take ages?
Yeah, there's a Bat Rider with a Blink. You probably don't want to be leaving it on the ground for too long. They give it to Invoker in the end.
Huh. That's weird. And Invoker is going for that 4-step, not for the heal, because, as you said, he's not going for the Max Exhort build. So it makes sense.
Do you think Krillee's going for a very late Radiance? He's up to 3.2k.
At this point, there's nothing else he can be saving for. I mean, either he spends that gold or going for that Radiance.
I don't know about the Radiance. I guess it helps you to stall a little bit, but it's not really going to do much in these clashes. DK, even Bat Rider with just a blink is pretty tanky, and I guess the supports get burned down a little bit, but Bat Rider's going to find one now, pulling him back up onto the cliff. Oh boy. Rubik down. No Flying Broomstick for you. Harry Potter bites the dust. Did I just spoil Harry Potter? I think I did.
Oh no. Eres loco. That's his name. More like Eres muerto. Yes, you see my Spanish there.
Yeah.
See what I did?
Brilliant. You are truly a Kingdom Ugmed as far as your Spanish proficiency goes.
Awesome. It's like it was my first language or anything.
Yeah, and I like how it's me telling you that when the only language I speak besides English is some broken French. By the way, not very practical. Not a practical language to learn, but
No, not many French people in the US, right?
not many French people in the world. But I had to argue with my parents. I had to be a rebel, and well, now I want Chinese lessons, which they wanted me to take. They're like, "Oh, you should learn Chinese," and you know, if you're a Dota caster, what better language to know? I would say.
That's right.
Maybe Russian.
That as well. So you want to cast with Bilad, right? You want to just go on screen together, make all that
I just want to drink with Vilat while he casts. I feel like anyone else casting with him just disrupts his natural rhythm of awesomeness. But yeah, he's a fun guy.
It's quite amazing. And we're seeing another smoke because there's a game going on. The 3 non-carry heroes from Rigged are trying to find something, trying to find someone, but they go through a Sentry Ward.
Oh, it was spotted. Good map awareness from the Rubik. Eris Loco bailing out Chrillee and friends. They will be running the hell out of here. Speaking of Chrillee, I believe the relic is on the courier. It is. Uh-oh.
Good timing.
Action breaks out bottom lane, and it looks like Strangby is being brought low. Will he be able to live? He's not tanking enough. Should have used that Phantasm a hell of a lot earlier. The illusion won't last long, but disruption on the Bat Rider. Strangby still surviving. Still surviving. Now 4-staffed away. This is looking to be a great fight for 4FC. They need that Sven here, but he's just not involved. Chaos Knight is still alive. What is he at now? 34 HP now. I think he had about 3 there and lives. What a 4-staff by the Invoker. And what a huge mistake to fight without your BKB Sven.
Yeah, that was clutch, really. I mean, If they had gotten that, they could easily wipe the rest of the team. But he just survived and people kept coming and coming, so the tides turned around. I mean, okay, it's just Alina. And they're trying to kill the bear now. But I mean, it's better than nothing, no? When you're 10-3.
Can you explain to me what was Jakiro invis? Oh, he was. He didn't realize there's a sentry in lane. Walks right into it. I was like, wait a second. Why is he charging into 5 enemy heroes? Well, 4 enemy heroes now, but you have your answer. He was invis and he didn't realize there was a sentry.
Those 3 you feel so happy as a support when you just plant a sentry just because, and suddenly a hero walks in biz. Like,
and you're
hey,
like, I totally meant to do that. I knew he was invis there.
Yeah, of course, naturally.
And actually, they probably did because they have an observer ward bottom.
Yeah, that's a good point. But still, is that Radiance up already? Has to be.
It's about to be. So 21-minute Radiance, Midas, Tranquil Boots. He is our lead farmer by about 400 net worth, and well, ldDOTA does have those 12 item slots. 4FC, after that fight, things feel a lot more comfortable for them. Also, Bruno, they do have that very obnoxious Alacrity Bear to work with. That is something we've seen, I want to say 3 or 4 months ago. It's something we saw fairly often. Complexity did it a lot. We also saw Dignitas doing it with Aoi 2000's Maelstrom build, which he loves, and it's pretty scary if the game goes late, so all hope not lost for 4FC. Crucial mistake in that last fight, and, well, now they're feeling a little more confident.
Yep, let's check a bit of the item progressions. Lina seems to be going for drums right now, but Ryder got a Ghost Scepter, very, very defensive item. He seems to think like he needs to survive a bit more, even though he's not been dying too much, or at all. DK has his BKB and probably going for some damage item now. He hasn't started anything yet. Milky, the Jakiro, going for a very, very late mech, it seems. And Sven sporting that crazy Mask of Madness in BKB.
This is a bold item against Exhort Invoker and Lone Druid. I mean, if you're gonna melt real fast if you get entangled. But he goes for it. In comes the dragon. He's mad. He's got the BKB, but they burst down Bat Rider off the bat. What a counter initiation! Sven, Mask of Madness, it dies in 3 seconds. Oh my God! But it's all the AOE nukes that are doing work. Bergie dropping low. Boogie rather will fall. Now the entangle. Dragon Knight dropping 1 by 1, Bruno. They're TPing in, they're getting picked off. This was a tier 1 and they threw everything at it and they lose everything. Wow, talk about investing the family fortune in Enron. I mean, seriously.
Well, I can't believe that couldn't have gone more wrong for them. It's so unfortunate. I mean, first hit entangle, which of course it always happens when you don't want.
Right.
Then Sven popping this Mask of Madness and getting trapped. I don't know whether it was telekinesis or something, but he was just trapped there and he received the Sunstrike, everything. He melted down immediately. And once those 2 heroes were dead, well, the rest was just like a story we all knew. They were just trying to run away, couldn't. So unfortunate. So they went from 10-3 to 10-8, and suddenly 4FC looking stronger.
Look at this goal. Well, that's the experience graph, but 3,500 experience lead. Down from like 4 minutes ago when they were actually up 1,000. The gold even worse. Up 4K, now down 1,000. 5,000 gold swing in a matter of 5-6 minutes. You know, the big thing there was Sven actually never got off his BKB, but even if he did, he's not... The issue with Sven going for Mask of Madness is Lone Druid then hits you extra hard. You still take that extra damage, even in BKB form, and, well, it can cost you. I mean, it was maybe not the best item choice. This is why we see, you know, a lot of players prefer that armlet. It's just a little bit safer. It still gives you tons of damage, but doesn't come with this glass cannon kind of side effect.
That's right. But, well, he's farming the Ancients now, and suddenly he has 1,600 gold, so he might be able to do something about that. The other problem with BKB is that Entangle go through BKB.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you're solving a problem. You're not getting, like, disrupted by Shadow Demon. You still can get Purge. You don't get Telekinesis. And you pretty much Invoker is a non-issue from now on. But still, Chaos Knight Illusions kind of hurt you if they survive enough. But, this is what matters. Yeah, Entangle immediately. And he dies.
The entangle luck on this guy, huh? Bat Rider on the high ground is barely able to survive. Dragon Knight charges in. Seems like a very chaotic team fight. Rigged are not sure how they want to play this one. Dragon Knight running in, the rest of the team running away. Look at the AoE, the Lina. It's Hero Boogie doing all the dirty work in this fight, but it doesn't seem like it's enough. Rika getting brought down. God, I keep on... It is Rika. Boogie and Rika, I keep on mixing them up. Bergie, Raka, whatever the hell it is. Boogie on the run now. Chrillee giving chase. And Sunstrike is not going to hit. Lena runs the other way. It doesn't matter, though. Or maybe it does. Dropping low. The Radiant's force-snapping the bear forward. What a nice little play. Another pickoff. And the sustained team fight of 4FC just proving to be a bit too much. They're really pulling Rigged apart. I go back to that last team fight and I feel that the one where we saw Sven not with this team like 5 minutes ago, for me that was the huge turning point this game.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, that fight could have been much more worth for Rigged if it wasn't because the bear got trapped right here by some creeps. So for the first half of the battle, the bear was just standing there doing anything because other creeps were attacking him. Eventually the Radiance melted them off, and the bear could get into the fight and start making some stuff happen. But it was really unfortunate for them because he was trying to micro the bear, trying to get him away from the creeps, trying to attack something. But they fought the first half without the bear, and even then they still won. They had like a 4-2 trade, something like that. Things are looking quite dire for Rigged and their team right now.
And it seems like their response to losing these fights is that they want to try and force some more where the enemy team isn't grouped up. They don't feel they can take that death ball head on anymore. Unfortunately, 4FC are just really smart movement around the map. They have these good observer wards deep in the enemy jungle, spotting out all the movements in Rigged, wasting a lot of time. Sven, DK, both pretty good farmers in their own right, but they are not keeping up with the Lone Druid who's got a Midas and a Radiance, and he's just split pushing, he's farming the jungle, he's keeping all the lanes going his way. The other big thing, in fact perhaps the bigger thing, is Invoker getting very close to a site device, and as though this Sven wasn't already melting fast enough, if he doesn't get his BKB off, he gets hexed, he's dead. Same too for Rika.
Yeah, I mean, everything seems to be connecting. They had a very weak early game. They were suffering a lot, but they gave some free farm to that Lone Druid, and that late Radiance proved to be a very key item in those last two fights. And again, the Invoker, who had quite an easy time in the mid lane. It didn't get too much in the beginning. A nice force stuff to avoid being seen by the observers, any potential observers that can be here. He force stuffs the bear right there, he starts doing the Roshan, and the rest of the team is right there to protect them and trying to make something happen. Now, will they realize about that?
We'll have to find out soon. In come the two Forward Spirits, Rika leading the charge. This is where you'd love to have your Shadow Blade, DK, although as I say that, there is a Sentry Ward here. And this second Roshan, look how much faster it drops with the Hyperstone on the bear, and the Lone Druid so much tankier now. He's up to 36 armor. Speaking of heroes that can tank physical damage, this guy definitely fits the bill. And it seems Rigged do know what's up, but can they actually stop it? It doesn't look like it. Chrillee's about to pick up this Rosh. He will get it. Batrider could look to blink in, but not reacting in time. I feel you just take a bit of a risk. You go Bambo, you go Rambo, you go Demon style into the pit and just hope that you catch the Lone Druid. Instead, they go mid. They go in on the Rubik. He gets stunned. Stacking those stuns. Just want to get this fight off on the right foot. They get one. Force staffing away. Shadow Demon able to escape. BKB, force staff from the Sven. Only to kill a Rubik. Not a great trade. Not a horrible one either. But they can't really go high ground now. They need the Sven to have God Strength. They need him to have the BKB.
Whoa, I have to say something right now. Look at that Dragon Knight, level 15 and still level 1 of Dragon form. Means he won't have that level 3 until level 17.
Oh, that's
a huge mistake.
Well, does he take it 2 points in stats? I guess he has.
Yep.
That is a crucial error. Yeah, you desperately need that level 3 Dragon form to kite that bear. And they go into Milky. Nice Flame Break, pushing everyone back. Doesn't matter, though. And it's just the Chaos Knight pulling these heroes back into the waiting arms of that angry bear. BKB from the Dragon Knight, not doing nearly enough. Demonic Purge now. The kiting power of these guys just... Wow. Just what an incredible turn this game took, Bruno. For one moment it was Rigged, who had all the control, all the momentum in the world, and it was that one fight with Sven not being there. And 4FC just can't make a mistake since then. Assault Kuros up on the bear. They're looking racks. Is there even buyback to prevent this? There's not. No buybacks on the Radiant.
No.
Well, there's a Batrider, but he's not dead.
Yeah. The Sven just came up. But they can still push. I mean, they will. Towers will be melting. The Glyph will be gone in 4 seconds now.
And suddenly the double Forward Spirit feeling pretty legit. Alacrity on the bear as well. chopping its way through the tower. This is the beauty of that lone druid hard carries. If you win a fight and they don't have buyback, you get at least 1 lane of Rex, if not 2. Especially with the Invoker buffing the bear.
Yeah. Maybe they will get this bear in return? No.
They should have. They really should have gone for the bear, but...
Yep. But they didn't. And
now he's going to have the resummon, and I think they just heal, and then they come right back and go for a second lane of Rex. They should have... They Sight the Vice should be up on the Invoker. You have 4.4k. And other items now coming too. Mech up on Boomski once he chooses to buy it. Even a 4-staff from Rubik. They're getting so many key items. BKB on Strang. I mean, literally every core item for this lineup, they're picking it up after that push.
Yeah, and they still have 3 more minutes of Aegis on that bear as well, so they can just group up. They are the strongest moment right now. Look at that Invoker. He has his side of Bite right now. He's purchasing it, bringing it to himself. Everyone's so much rich, so rich.
And they also, at this point, because they have this many items, they have a great team to counter Rigged, who, you know, early on, they had tons of AoE stuns, but now with, now with all these 4-staffs and, you know, mobility skills and just ways to escape, it's a little bit harder to actually find pickoffs. They will try to go on the nose, but look at that, 4-staff away. Suddenly, that Bat Rider is not where he wants to be. This is a Bat that's in a lot of trouble. In comes the angry BKB's fan, cleaving away, but Demonic Purge to ruin that BKB. Where is the low Druid through all of this? He's finally joined the fight. Now Rika being slowed down, worked down by the lone Druid, finally BKBing, and should be able to run away, but they use BKBs to retreat. This is not ideal, and you can't run easily. In comes the Laguna Blade. This is going to be enough. Doesn't look like it. Boogie dropping low. Boogie trying to survive a stun, but it's only seeming to delay the inevitable. Bear actually, maybe not. Bear resummon on cooldown. Can they do it without him? Sunstrike is going to hit. Boom. This will bring Rika low. Boom shakalaka. And the low Druid is getting this kill on Fata or Feta or wants to. And one look at the control right around the Rosie, but the Bear is faster. He hasn't been fed in a while, I think, just coming out of hibernation, so moving a bit quicker than he normally would.
I bet. And the support's rarely running away there on Milky. They're still chasing Milky. I mean, they're really confident they can get him. Milky wisely turns right instead of left.
Doesn't have mana for TP. Will it? Maybe just a smoke gank towards the bottom lane. Try and get that second lane of Rex. DK, Sven, no buybacks. This could be GG. This could be the game right here, with the Bear up again. Now getting close to probably a Basher, maybe an MKB. Oh boy, I don't know if they can deal with this. Sven will... Oh, sorry, so I guess Sven just got buyback, because it said he didn't have it. Now he buys back. Alacrity Bear. What can Sven actually do? BKB is up, but that Mask of Madness just ain't helping him the way he would like. It seems to just bring him down quicker. Still the Aegis up on chrillee. And the tower will fall. Now the Bat Rider jumping again and just die. He jumps in, he gets purged. It's amazing the amount of kiting they're able to bring to the table, even through the BKBs. Speaking of that, purge onto Rika. chrillee doesn't care if he dies, but if the Bear dies, that would be trouble. Stun onto, maybe the fight going the other way. Lone Druid will respawn in his ranged form, but immediately into the big bad Bear form. Now Feta. This Bear is too big to fail, Bruno. This is truly a thing to see. What a comeback. It is 4 friends of chrillee being thrown onto chrillee's broad, strong shoulders, and he will carry them to what looks to be a victory and their first win of the group stage.
That's great, because now if they get another win, they actually have a chance to get through, right?
Yeah, if they who do they play next? They play EG. If they can somehow beat EG, then they have a chance.
Yep, and they had a very good game against NTH, so they can definitely at least, like, it won't be a walkover for EG.
I do
so
feel,
they do have a chance.
I do feel they're a little, not one-dimensional, but perhaps predictable. I mean, you mentioned the draft was almost identical, the first 2-3 picks, and even this sort of, you know, young, less-known team like Rigged just had them figured out in the banning stage. I thought Rigged had a really smart draft and really counter what we expected 4FC to do, ban out the Kunkka, you know, just really countering their hero picks. The problem was, I think the decision-making mid-game, they were winning 2 out of their 3 lanes. They were dominating the tri-lane. They were doing okay in the 2 solo lanes. Weren't getting crushed there. But they made a few crucial mistakes, and 4FC just punished it. Yep,
and punish they did. Look at that. Lone Druid just at the right of the screen, happy. Happy with himself. Really, your friends didn't let you down, but you carried them to victory, and you should be happy. Good luck in next match. Are we casting them, or are we casting the other guys?
We stay with Rigged the rest of the way. So we have Rigged versus No Tidehunter. Our first look at No Tidehunter, and while Rigged still looking for their first win on this group stage. That'll be coming up next. Of course, I'm LD. He's Bruno. Be sure to follow him, show him some love. Twitter.com/DA Fantasy League, because, of course, Bruno is not only Statsman Bruno, but he's also the guy who orchestrates the Fantasy League. So that's his next level of dedication to the community. Fantasy.dota-academy.com. Be sure to check that out. There's a new fun feature called Cap Troll, which basically, to a long story short, you get more points for picking for assigning Cap Troll to who you think will be the worst player of the day. Whoever does the worst gives you the most points. So it's a fun kind of backwards captain. Instead of getting double points for them doing well, you get extra points for them doing poorly. Anyway, that wraps it up for Rig versus 4FC. 4FC advanced to 1-1 in the group. Rig dropped to 0-2. Their hopes of advancing pretty much gone, but 4FC still have a shot. Stay tuned. We'll be coming back in hopefully only a few moments, and that'll be Rigged facing off against No Tidehunter, our final Group B match and our final Dreamhack Winter 2012 Day 1 match of the day. Stay tuned for that, guys.